Behind the Shades.
Was it a little scary for you, the amount of changes that was happening in such a short period of time?
Uh, I wouldn't say that that was scary. No. I'd say the directions that God had moved me in was rather scary because it's almost like you're walking on a solid surface, but the surface just kept breaking loose and opening up, and you kept falling down in a little further. And so, um, little by little, God plucks out of your life the things that are hurting you. And that's scary because I once related is it's like God takes you for a walk into this huge jungle. And, you know, when you're a little bit of a ways in, you could still see where you were. That's not really that scary. But the further you progress into this jungle, you don't really know your way back to who you were, and you don't really know where you're heading or which direction. Like, you don't even know if you're going in a direction at all. And that is scary. And it's that point where you realize that I have to put God into every step that I take, because if not, I'm going to start panicking, because I literally have no idea where I'm at right now. And you lose your identity, so you can't even go back to that. That's petrifying. Yeah.
Walk by faith, not by sight is such an
Yeah.
important saying, right?
Right. And I think once you decide to fully die to who you were, um, there is no vision. Like, you really don't know what is ahead. So you have to almost walk by that faith, or you're just gonna, you know, you're just it's scary. It's scary, yeah.
Yes, and I'm glad that you mentioned that because that's what I felt. But I felt it twofold. I felt that it was scary because I was becoming something where at that time I didn't know if I could fulfill what I knew that I was
Hmm.
becoming. So I kind of shied
Yeah.
away. I was like, okay, let me take a step back from this because it's what some people today would call overwhelming. You're achieving things that you're like, hey, this is bigger than me. This is bigger
Yeah.
than the world. But can I do it? So when I pulled away, I was a little hesitant because I just didn't know if I was prepared for that task. But fast forward a few years later, here I am doing it again for the second time, but I feel that I'm more prepared because maybe it was a test that was like, hey, this is what your future is going to be like. Are you ready? Can you get ready? And
Right.
for you, Andrea, are you ready or can you get ready?
Right. It's definitely a process, and I really have to look into the fact, because I'll nonstop do things, and I'll think that I'm really getting nowhere with it and achieving nothing. When you look back, you see that you had moved, but in the moments, it's really just staying in it and understand that God's in it. It's like, this stuff isn't in vain. Even the smallest things, that you do throughout the day is incremental to the process that God has you on. And so it's definitely, I can say that I'm in the pruning process.
So take us through some of the work that you've done. You mentioned to me you have Our Daydream. That's something that is very close to your heart. That is something that is very important to what you do. So take us through that because what you're doing is an amazing, amazing work.
Thank you so much. Um, I'm. They say they have a direction in which the way that you're going. I think that that would be the easiest route, is to actually, be able to define what it is that you're doing and go in that direction. But then you also read in the Bible that God gives you talents. And so are you going to bury those talents, or are you going to multiply those talents? And so it kind of puts me in this place where I do a lot of different things. So I write blogs. I do a column on my website, and then I also love to draw. And so I'm an artist as well, and I started a podcast last year, January 2022, where I started interviewing other people, and then I also do a ministry. And so there's a lot of different ways, and I suppose it's what's God asking me to do today? And that's what I do. So I wouldn't really say that I have a direction, but what it really is I don't want anybody to feel like I felt. I don't want anybody to feel like they're stuck. I don't want anybody to feel like they're alone. But what I really want is for people to join this journey that we both have taken, and really, walk out that walk by faith.